would like to share with you a way to begin the journaling process. This is something that I find is very powerful because you can write something down, but without intention, it can get lost, or you can let the ego do the journaling for you instead of really what's going on in the heart. So I like to prepare my space, write down my questions, think about things, and then when I am ready to really dive in deep emotionally and understand what my blocks are that I need to release, I'll set the stage. So that can be anything, whatever is comfortable for you. Just example for me, I will typically lock all the doors, turn off my phone, light a candle, pour myself a glass of wine or a tequila, whatever, or a cup of tea. And I get my journal, and I sit with intention. Now, sometimes I like to burn some Palo Santo or sage just to clear the energy of the room. Sometimes I will meditate for 10 or 15 minutes before and do a grounding meditation and a heart opening so that I can be true to really what's going on within me and not what's going on up here. So those are just a couple of things, and really just setting the intention to sit down and open your heart and understand what's holding you back so that you can move forward. You find your way, and each month it can be different. I know for me, it sometimes it's going and sitting underneath a tree. Sometimes it's just sitting in my truck when it's freezing cold outside with the heater and the sun shining in the window. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is for you to get out of your head and into your heart. So don't forget to set your setting and set your intentions before doing your journaling. Okay, we'll see you soon for the full moon in Aries, releasing, meditation, and sound bath, and whatever else comes up. Okay, so a little bit about the energy of this full moon and what you can expect. And so it also kind of gives a little background of why the questions that I picked. Okay, so we have full moon in Aries on Wednesday the 20th, depending on where you are. It's a very powerful, intense, and passionate, driven, forward energy that's ruled by Mars. So what you could feel is a lot of actions and reactions, which can be good and create a shift, kind of get you moving along, kind of give you that push into what you've been needing to do. So if you've noticed that this month so far has been more productive than usual, or finding that some of the things that you put on the back burner for months is finally like, oh, feels easy now, let me just do it. I know that's kind of what I've been going through. But this energy of action and reaction is here to cause a shift. And if you're moving in a direction that you've been doing the work and you've just been waiting for certain things to fall into place, that's happening now. But if it's feeling very uncomfortable and you're lacking confidence when some of these things show up, you might want to take this time to notice the emotions that are around when some of these opportunities arise. And that's where some of these questions will come in that will help you kind of dive deeper into that. But during this time when you feel the most uncomfortable is where you will find the most growth. If you'll take the time to understand why you're not kind of moving with the flow and taking this amazing forward energy that is being given or pushed upon us right now and using it to your advantage. So if not, then why? So that leads me into the reality check. Cool. The journaling prompts, and I'm just going to read them off, but then I'll write them so that you can take a screenshot. So don't worry about trying to keep up with me. I know I talk fast. So number one, and I have them wrote down, so if you see me looking up, that's why. What deaths and rebirths have happened over the last about 9 months? So if you've been a good monthly journal tracking around the moons and your manifestations and your releases, this should be pretty easy for you. If you are not one that has been doing that, then just contemplate and think about where you were about 8-9 months ago and what you were hoping to achieve, maybe through the summer months, or depending on where you are, maybe the winter months. So think about what deaths and rebirths have happened for you. And it's always good to just jot them out, or at least go back and read through your journal and highlight the ones that stick out the most to you. So kind of a subtext of this question is, what is still hanging on that needs to be let go? Because sometimes we do this work, but we don't finish it. And there's the energy hanging around that is holding you back from achieving some of these desires or goals that you've been trying to do. So, is there still something hanging around that is ready to be let go of? Another subtext to this question is, what seeds can you now plant for the new year? If you think back about your deaths and rebirths, what can you look forward to for the new year? Just start planting the seeds for those. It's not that you have to do the work or lay out a life plan for the next year, but it's just plant this little seed of what you want to see come to fruition for next year. Okay, and as you've done that, noticed what accomplishments that you have had over the past year, 9 months, whatever. And don't forget to celebrate them. Really give yourself some gratitude and compassion for achieving some of these things, because that's what this is all about. You cannot take, you've got to celebrate yourself. It's just as important as finding the bad things inside. So stop, celebrate, and gift yourself some extra love. Okay, so number 2, looking back. Looking back over the last 8-9 months again, do the goals and desires still resonate with where you're heading now? Have you made such a big shift that where you thought you were heading is not necessarily where it feels good now? So take this time to readjust, because a lot of times when you shift out of old energy, the clarity comes and a piece of your old identity is gone. And so that's no longer you. So maybe some of the goals that you set or the desires that you set in this 8 or 9 months ago is not who you are now. And that's a good thing. So reshift, shift, adjust, make it right. So number 3, fear. Fear. Where is fear guiding your decisions? Is it justified? Or is it linked to insecurities from your past? So I guess this would all roll into one by saying that if there are things that did not come to fruition over the 8 or 9 months, why? And if there's fear around those achievements or those goals, what is that fear linked to? Your childhood? So that's some introspect. So sit with those questions. Do the setting and intention when you're ready to sit down to do this, and it will make all the difference. Write it in your journal so you can go back and look at your achievements, because you've got to celebrate those wins, right? So now look forward. In the next day or so, I'll be posting the full moon ceremony, and that will be dropping, I believe, Sunday night, if not Sunday, on Monday. So I'll give you time to think about these journaling questions, time to sit and reflect, and also time to fit this into your schedule, since this happens on a Wednesday. So I want to make sure that it's in your hands and for you to use when it's best for you. So much love.